Good evening. What I'm hoping to do tonight is just have a little chat about blackthorns. So, strafe in the Ogham, um, it's a fid that really sort of gets a bit of a negative rap a bit too quickly. And a lot of that reputation comes down to one very physical and memorable feature, doesn't it? Which is this the blackthorn. Very, very long. This one is a good 4.5 centimetres long. So it's not a polite scratch, is it? It's one that makes you stop and swear under your breath or out loud if it's that bad. And folklore across our Ireland and Britain warns that blackthorn wounds can linger, not because it's a malicious tree, but because of how these thorns behave. They're very long. They're in weather-beaten hedges. There are other chemical makeups in these things that make it react badly with the skin. And although they're fairly strong, these tips will break off quite readily. Inside it, they'll go in very deep and snap off. So, for those reasons and many others, blackthorns are quite well known for leading to infection. You can get something called plant thorn arthritis, which is not very nice, a painful, lingering reaction. And if you're very unlucky, you could end up with sepsis because, you know, you don't want that. So when our ancestors sort of talking about don't mess with the blackthorns, they weren't being dramatic. I think it was just basically a really good observation. But the important part of this is it doesn't make blackthorn evil. It makes it a boundary plant. So it's a hedge that says if you cross this line, you'd really better mean it. Farmers planted them because nothing gets through it easily. Livestock can't get out. Thieves cannot get in. Also, the casually curious, they're not going to get in either. So in folklore, anything that lived on a boundary was treated with a good deal of suspicion. It's not quite here. It's not quite there. So Blackthorn became associated with witches and curses, baneful magic, not because the tree was malevolent, but because I think humans feared what's there on the edges. But if you look at the plant itself, and you see what a sort of crazy thing it is because it flowers in the cold long before its leaves appear. It's got a really dense, strong wood, and those sloe berries, which it's really famous for, they're so bitter until the frost comes, and then suddenly they're transformed into something that's sweet. So everything about this tree really speaks about is endurance and consequence and transformation through uh, endurance of hardship. So when we talk about strafe in the Ogham, we're not really talking about doom and gloom. We're talking about the moment where avoidance has stopped working. So it becomes this the thorn is the perfect metaphor, the sharp, honest, and impossible to ignore. It's not punishment, it's clarification. It says if you cross this line, you will feel it. Not because I wish you harm, but because boundaries matter. In divination, strafe is often going to appear when something needs to be faced directly. There's a truth you've been skirting, a pattern you've let slide, a consequence that's been sort of quietly gathering weight in the background, and you're blissfully ignoring it. So it's not the villain of the Omen, that's for sure. I don't really think there is one, but it's one that keeps you from wandering into harm through inattention, if you like. And that sort of going back to the lingering sting that Blackthorn is known for, I suppose, is part of the lesson as well. So, and some lessons are designed to stay with you, aren't they? I mean, some boundaries do leave a mark. That's a fact. So, I don't think strafe is negative, really. It's necessary. It's that thorn that protects the hedge and the truth. It doesn't want to be softened. It's the reminder that even integrity has a cost, but it's a cost really that's worth paying.